Hey y'all, what's up? In today's episode of Shit I Be Thinking About, I don't really have an entire subject that I want to cover on this one, so there might be a rant, maybe a question, I don't know. Anyway, it's hard to express how I feel when I have a certain amount of influence, but yet that influence isn't followed, and it bothers me a little bit because I can only do so much here at work. I'm not a manager, although in previous videos I have mentioned that I'm treated somewhat like a manager. But there are things that I need people to understand. We work in a communal area, so a lot of the things in this shop that are not our personal property, we have to share, which means that if this guy's using the shop vac, I need him to put the shop vac back. If this guy's using the battery jumper, I need him to put it back. There are certain individuals that work in the shop that don't seem to understand that. And also, we have a lot of things that should be shop supplied. And when things disappear, when things get broken, and the person that needs it finds out after the fact, that is very, very frustrating. We're grown men here. Shit happens. Things break. Why can't you just tell somebody? And this is what bothers me the most. Case in point, we take a lot of hydraulic pressure tests on the machines that we work on. And I took it upon myself to just purchase my own hydraulic test kit, simply because it facilitates a much more expedient process with me finishing my job, instead of walking around literally for an hour or two looking for gauges that work, hoses that match, and things of that nature. And it has even gotten to the point to where I put it in my service report that I spent a certain amount of time looking for this tool or looking for this gauge kit or the things that I need to get my job done. And sometimes a guy puts it in his truck, or somebody leaves it over in his work area, or worse yet, somebody breaks it and doesn't say anything. And the amount of frustration I have is just astronomical, because no matter how much you talk to these people, it's just not resonating with them. And then they have the nerve to complain when they go to get something and it's broken or lost. And people know that I have certain things that should be shop supplied, but I purchased on my own because at least I know my job's going to get done in a sufficient time because I have the shit that I need. Don't come borrowing my stuff. How about you go up to the boss and tell him that shit is missing or broken? And one of the other things that bothered me is my boss commended me for purchasing my own test kit. No. That is not something that warrants commendation. That is something that should trigger you to maybe take a look at what we don't have that works and get something that works. And then maybe be a little bit more cognizant of who's using what and be on people's ass about putting things back and making sure that stuff is working properly. Don't give me a commendation. Don't say, oh man, that's great that you got your own test kit. Fuck that. I spent almost $500 on a set of fucking gauges because the stuff that's supposed to be supplied by the company is not working or missing. The same thing with other stuff. Like, I just took care of a couple of tools that were broken. They put them on a table and my boss may or may not get to it. This is not something that's my responsibility, but it's so frustrating because it all comes back to one or two people. And if everybody would just get together and say, we need to do this to make sure our jobs are being done without any problems. And it's just, I'm ranting now. I'm just so upset because we have a guy that works here from another branch. He doesn't put anything away. And he leaves a mess everywhere he works. He's borrowing tools because he doesn't work here. And it frustrates me to look at the shop, and then when we all get yelled at as a group, guess who the fuck ain't here? He went back to his branch, and we're the ones getting bitched at because the shop is a goddamn mess. I just don't understand this. I needed to get this out, and I hope it makes sense to some people, and it probably ain't gonna make sense to a lot of other people. But if you work in an area where everybody has to share things, same thing with the computer. One guy punches in the password incorrect too many times, and IT doesn't automatically reset it. Somebody has to call them, and that somebody is always me. It's like, how is it when I notice something is fucked up, I have to handle it? When I know that 2 or 3 people knew it was fucked up, but instead of saying anything, they just walked the hell away from it. Man, I cannot even believe this. But other than that, I mean, I really do enjoy where I work. It's just so frustrating that the apathy of my coworkers is so significantly frustrating that I feel like I'm the only person that cares. If I go into that tool room right now and the one thing that I need is broken, I'm gonna flip fucking shit because I know somebody broke it and didn't say anything about it. All right, it's lunchtime and this video is almost 7 minutes. I gotta get out of here. But anyway, that's just shit I be thinking about. Y'all have a good one. Deuces.